All yours.
Welcome everyone to the Ask Me Anything call about clarity. I know you all have lots of questions about it, and it is my theme this year that if you can get clear and get the clarity you need, you will take inspired actions. So no lecture, no intro. I'm just gonna answer your questions about clarity today. What might be in your way? Where are you confused about clarity? Maybe you don't even know that clarity is really important. And I'm going to go through as many questions as possible. Keep them short, please, because we had hundreds and hundreds of people sign up. So please keep your questions short, and I'll do the best that I can answering. I don't know all the answers, but I can just answer from my clinical and personal experience. And then I am also going to tell you about the Clarity in Action series, a series of 3 weeks of calls that starts next Monday, April 12th. So I'll tell you about that, give you the link to that in the middle as well. But this is really all for you, an hour of answering your questions. No, I'm not going to do tapping and coaching today. This is really just to really get you heated up and going. So the important thing is that when you are clear, when you have clarity, then you can take an inspired action, an action that's really right for you. So this topic has just meant the world to me, changed my life, changed my personal and my professional life. So that's why I want to answer your questions. And again, I'll let you know about the link for the series. Our series in January was off the charts, useful and helpful for people, and I loved it. And we're doing another one called Clarity in Action. All right, I see Brenda. So you guys, what I do is I'm going to go over here and I click on something, so ask to unmute, but also Rick's going to monitor the chat if he can. And if you have any questions, short questions, you can I think I said that right. Rick, you're going to be able to, you could interrupt and ask me a couple of those as well.
Yeah, we may or may not get to all the questions, but I'll be monitoring there for people that don't want to come on and volunteer. Remember, we're also recording today, so this will be on a recording. If you want, you can also change your name if you want under participants. Click on the little more and change your name if you want.
Great. Brenda.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. Excuse my fluffy house coat because I just had the vaccine and I'm feeling like I need to be a little bit cuddly with myself.
Good.
So
what's your question, Brenda?
My question is, I did the earlier in the year, the Clarity workshop, and it was very difficult for me to actually figure out what was the biggest thing that blocks my clarity. Because when everybody else would tap, I would think, oh, yes, that one too. Oh, yeah, that one too. Oh, yes, that one's for me too. So, like, do I have all of these blocks and none's bigger than the other? Or is just this whole idea, am I just blocked from clarity for anything?
You could have a little bit of everything. That's not unusual. Like when I do the procrastination program, I have fear of failure, fear of success, and rebellion, and the avoidance. I have all of them. So that's not totally unusual, but I think the question, maybe Brenda, that could really narrow it down for you is for me to say to you, what is the scary downside of you being crystal clear?
What is the scary downside? I guess then I'd have to do something different.
Okay, that's all you need to know. So you might have a little bit of this person's and that person's and this person's fear of clarity and the reason you are afraid. But what you just said it, trust yourself. I might have to do something different. That's a very natural, and it's a very common answer that people say, if I'm clear, I'm going to have to do something different in my job, in my marriage, in my work, in my personal life, with my health. So it's an important one. So I would focus in on that for you. And whether you're taking the series or not, doesn't matter. Just focus in on that. When you do your tapping, I'm afraid to change. See, I hear, I'm afraid to change. I'm afraid of something different. I also hear the fear of responsibility.
Oh, okay.
When we are really clear, we take responsibility for our lives. And sometimes we like to have other people take responsibility, and we don't like to do that. So that's just what I hear in your question and in what you're saying. So there's a lot there, a lot to tap on, Brenda.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good
Appreciate
stuff.
it.
Very glad you were here today. Zaffer, I'm going to ask you to unmute. What is your question about clarity, Zephyr?
I've got a couple of questions, if I may. I've been
One,
following one.
Zephyr, see
Okay,
if you can keep it to one.
one. Okay, so I've been following your series and been very useful. Thank you. What is bugging me is, does overwhelm slow down your brain so that it seems like your brain capacity has reduced? And although you do work, the next day you're back to square one.
Okay, here's how I would respond to that, Zephyr. I would say overwhelm causes noise and static, so you can't be effective, productive, and clear. Does it
Okay.
quote, slow down your brain? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to really answer that. It slows down the productivity. When I'm overwhelmed, I don't make good decisions.
And everything seems like a big task, difficult, although it's not.
Yes.
That makes
So-
sense?
Yes. So the work to do is to get that overwhelm down. Let's say you're an 8, not a 10. Let's say you're 7, 8. Get the overwhelm down. So then you have clarity. And then you say, well, that's not a priority. Why am I pouring energy into that email or that response? That's not due till next week. What am I doing? But when we're overwhelmed, we kind of just do what's put in front of us first, rather than really thinking about the priorities and what we need to do.
Okay. So just reduce the overwhelm. Okay.
Start there. Everybody, you have to reduce the overwhelm. You have to go to neutral, or at least closer to neutral. A chaotic brain can't make clear decisions. And
Yes. Yeah.
chaotic brain, I've been in it. I've tried it. I'll make mistakes when I'm there.
Yeah. And you're so exhausted, you know. Yeah.
Right. Overwhelm is exhausting because it drains your energy.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
Zephyr,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to Kim. Hi, Kim. Did I do that right?
Yeah,
Asking.
we're good. We're here. We're here. I am not getting to the root of my lack of clarity. I'm sort of going around other things, and then I'm like, but this is still sitting here and I'm not doing it. So that's a question about getting to the root of clarity when you're got too many things to jumble and think about to work
Now,
on.
Is it the root of clarity or the root of a behavior like a procrastination? One of the things we're going to work on a lot is procrastination.
I would say it's the procrastination kernel.
Okay, so the same way I asked Brenda, Kim, so there are two questions. What's the upside of procrastinating? Procrastination solves a problem for us. And we wouldn't do it unless it was useful, air quotes, useful to us in some way. And I know that sounds crazy to some of you who hate your procrastinating behavior, but it is useful. So what's it doing for you? What's the upside, the positive? Ooh, good, I procrastinated, so therefore I didn't have to fill in the blank.
Yeah. Oh, I can go numb and play cards. I can do a behavior that goes numb.
Okay. And if you weren't numb, what would you be feeling what are you avoiding in the numbness?
Maybe sadness.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the work is to be able to tolerate a little bit, not every ounce of your sadness.
Yeah.
But the work is to be able to say, oh, that's what I'm avoiding. That's why procrastination works.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And if you can just sit with it more, tap on it, sit with it, be with it, journal about it, and just say, I have a lot of sadness that's untapped in there.
Ah,
Then the running from it isn't as frantic.
yes. Yes.
And then the procrastination. So when you reduce the need for your sabotage behaviors, procrastination, avoidance, rebellion, when you reduce the need for them, they just go away. You don't need to support it anymore. But if you're terrified of your sadness,
So work on that emotion. I think that's what I was asking. I know you have to go to one emotion. So I'll try that one, Carol. Thank you.
and if there's a secondary one, give that airtime too.
Yeah. They often come up, as we know. Thank you.
Okay, Kim, glad to see you today.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to Priya. Hi, Priya.
Hi. I want to change career this year, in the near future, but I'm turning 50 this year, and I'm afraid that my choice won't be successful, and it keeps me back from going fully into what I want. And
So-
I'm afraid that what I want is not possible. So how do I get clear that what I want is really possible?
Okay. Why are you convinced? I'm going to call it a belief, Priya. Why are you convinced that your decision, your choice won't be successful? Where'd you get that?
I don't know. I think it's an age-related thing, believing that I'm too late to make to start anew, to make to change career, to find something else that I love.
Okay. So on a scale of 0 to 10, Priya, say this out loud. It's too late to start a new career.
It's too late to start a new career.
How high is that?
8.
8. So that's a belief. It's not a fact, right? The fear is a feeling. The belief is it's too late. Those are your tappable targets. An 8, if you're at an 8 of the belief, you'll stay there,
Yeah.
right? Age is irrelevant. You've got to get to that as well. That if you have passion and desire and you're good at what you're changing into, there's not going to be a problem. Doesn't matter if you're 80, right? But you have a belief centered around this.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's your tapping. That's your belief tapping.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad you were on the call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you
Hi.
like to take a call from the chat?
Sure. A question for the tap. Sure.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of them. Just hold on just a second. Well, at least we have 3. How can I get clear when I don't know where to start, when there's just so much to work on?
Okay. So number 1, so I hear a little bit like Zafar with the overwhelm. So not knowing where to start and there's just too much. I would go tap on the overwhelm first. I would get the overwhelm down so that then you start saying, oh, this is a priority. Oh, I need to do the insurance for the car now. Oh, I need to do this, right? But when there's so much, when you're in the state of there's so much, choices are not clear.
Yeah.
Right. So tap on that until something pops out. It's like when we do tapping in general and someone thinks it's sadness and then it turns out it's something else. When you calm down that fight or flight response in the brain, the clarity is clear. It starts to show up for you. But start where you are, which is there's too many choices, too much.
Is it useful to just pick one of them and then also like tap on the overwhelm and then pick just any of them or one that pops up? What is your approach there?
The loudest will always get your attention. So you can pick one that's a medium one and it won't keep your attention. So yes, you can start by picking one thing. You'll notice that you'll get distracted.
Great.
And the question, what is the downside of being clear? You must get to why you're afraid, the way Brenda did about the responsibility. And I don't want to change. You must understand why clarity is scary. This is why people, the years, the months go by and people are like, oh my gosh, I still didn't do that. I still didn't change that. Because clarity is threatening in some way to your brain. And when clarity is threatened, the answer is somehow threatening. So you got to find out what the real fear is.
You want to take another from the chat or do you want to go to the next person?
That's good.
I keep getting clear and then I change my mind about what I want, which makes me think that I'm not really clear. How do I get past quasi-clear to really clear?
Okay. I would say that behavior, now, if you disagree with this, that's okay. The behavior is another way not to be clear, is to this shiny object, this shiny object, this shiny object. Go back to square one and say, what is the downside of being clear? Because the truth is you're not getting there. So there has to be a scary downside, a negative consequence, a oops, my sister, mother, brother, neighbor won't like it. Maybe I'll be really successful.
Well, yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Thanks,
all
everybody.
right.
Great. Emma, I'm asking you to unmute yourself.
Yes.
Hi, Emma.
Hi. Oops. Hi, Carol. How are you doing?
Hi, very well. What is your question about clarity today?
I don't know if it makes sense, but can we tap on something that we don't know we have? That would be subconscious, the subconscious fear. How can we neutralize it by being vague about it? You know, and neutralize anything subconscious or.
Well, the quick answer is yes. I have a whole program on subconscious fears. The question is, what makes you think you have a subconscious fear that's interrupting you?
I've been tapping on a lot of, all the issues that have come up to my mind, and some of them are, I haven't had the result I've wanted. And lately I've read and felt that, this might be some subconscious stuff there that I don't know of.
What's your suspicion, Emma? What is your suspicion that the subconscious fear is of being clear?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you suspect? You're saying it's subconscious, which means it's below your awareness.
Yeah,
What do you suspect it might be? You must have a little bit of an idea from your mother's side of the family, from your father's side of the family, from the job, you have some idea.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Fear. I know it has to do with fear, but I don't know what.
Okay. So then the tapping would be, even though I have a subconscious fear that's holding me back, comma, what else can you do if you don't know what it is? I accept myself anyway. Go back to conscious though. Go back to conscious and get clear as a bell. What is the downside of fill in the blank? What's the upside of procrastinating? What's the upside of rebelling? What's the upside of overeating? What's the upside of being late? Or what's the downside of success? That's a really good question. So if you're not getting the results, what's the downside, Emma, of success?
The downside, lots of them. I mean, being visible and yeah.
Okay, so being visible and being seen, everybody, that's the first week of the series starting next week. Being visible and being seen and standing out is a huge, terrifying prospect for many of you and many of us. So you just answered it. Don't go to subconscious, Emma. It's all conscious.
Yeah.
It's all conscious. Being seen, being visible. I'm terrified of being visible because if I am, fill in the blank, then that's your tappable issue.
Yeah, okay. I was just referring also, I'm seeing my daughters and all the things that, that they're not aware that has happened in their lives that I know, and how it's stopping them from this or that. And I'm saying, well, if it's happening to them, it might happen to me, things that I don't know of, or anyone. I'm just.
Sure. You have too much information consciously to have to go to the subconscious fears.
Yeah, okay. All right.
It's not that they're not there. It's not that they're not there. Okay, thanks, Emma. Glad you were on. Hi, I have a phone here, so I don't know the name. Starts with 415. Hi.
Yeah, good morning, Carol.
Hi, who's this?
Veronique here.
Who?
Veronique here.
Hi.
Veronique.
Hello, stranger. How are you?
Hello there. Very well, thank you. I would like to pick up, on what your previous, one of your previous caller about procrastination.
Yes.
And what's the cause of procrastination? When you asked, my answer is, my upside is that I'm afraid of feeling incompetent. If I do something, and then I feel resentful that I have to do that. So I think the competence feature is, or rather the incompetence fear is, for me, extraordinarily powerful.
Yes. So, and then you can resent that. So the question, answering the upside is, what would procrastination protect you from? It's protecting you from the possible risk that you might be seen by yourself or others as incompetent.
By myself, essentially. Number one, by myself, is a feeling of incompetence is very strongly sensed in my body as we speak.
Okay.
Just
so then
for some reason, it terrifies me. Sorry.
Okay. So then the tappable target is I'm terrified, you said it, I'm terrified of being seen as incompetent. I'm terrified of feeling incompetent. And there is a template from earlier, there has to be, or else it wouldn't be an issue for you.
Did you say a template?
there's some issue when you were caught, air quotes, caught as being incompetent by yourself or others or blamed by someone else. There's something there about why that is so dangerous for you. There's something about it that bugs you because of something happened earlier.
Yes, I agree completely. I don't know what that is exactly. A whole bunch of times when I did feel not up to the task. And there's something about that that really is extremely scary. It's like my life, I have to be competent at this or else.
Yes.
And I'm going to find myself at fault, delinquent, deficient. And that's what I run from.
Yes. So those are the tappable targets. It's very, very effective. If you can get the 10 of terror, or even down to a 7, you'll feel differently about the procrastination. You won't need to procrastinate as much. You got to get it below a 7, I think, to really behaviorally make some changes. But I'm
Okay.
terrified of being seen as incompetent. Use this word again.
Seen, oh yes, seen as, oh yes, that makes a difference, Carol. It's the again that hits the mark here.
Yes.
Yeah, and all that it means to me that I'm incompetent.
Yes.
I am whatever.
Good. Excellent.
Okay.
You got some targets. Great,
Sure.
great topic. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now we have Vida. Ask to unmute. Did I do that enough? Yes. Vida? Did I do that right, Rick?
That's
Hello.
good here.
Hello, Vida.
Hi, hi.
Hi.
I am from India. I'm glad I'm part of this session. The question I have is, I have a current career, but I feel drawn to healing and coaching as such. But every time I decide on a topic or decide on something and move forward in that direction, put some efforts and move in that, I feel I'm done with it, and then I just stop on that, and then I start the whole thing with something else, learning, studying, and picking up something new till it stops. And I don't know whether it is too many choices or I'm not clear, and I also get overwhelmed with sucking up a lot of information as such. So
Okay. So Vida, just say this out loud and see if you get a response. I'm afraid of making a commitment.
I am afraid of making a commitment. Not necessarily.
Okay. How about this one? I'm afraid of making a mistake.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm afraid of failures.
Yes. So nobody would jump the way you're describing, if I understood it right, nobody would jump from do this, do this, do this, back to this. I need more information. I don't have enough, unless you were afraid of making a mistake. There's that, and there's feeling like you're not enough. And then that makes you think, oh, well, I'm not enough. I couldn't do that. I have to do more learning. Well, we're all learning perpetually, and that's awesome, but not to the point of blocking your forward progress.
And I'm also afraid that actually, like handling too many things, work, home, and doing too many things, it actually taking up new thing and putting so much of effort in that direction might upset my health, because some health issues are there as such. So I know it's kind of
a tappable issue. Do you hear another tappable issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm afraid. So I hear I'm afraid of making a mistake. And everybody, that's week number 2 in the series. I'm afraid of making a mistake. And I'm afraid I will get overwhelmed, Vida. You're saying I'm afraid to take on something else. What if I start juggling too much and I can't handle it?
Yes. Yes.
Stick to those 2. Don't pick 10 tapping targets.
Okay.
Stick to those 2. Okay, Vida?
Yeah, thanks. That was helpful.
Thank you. Everybody, the link is for the program if you want to join us for 3 weeks of tapping on clear of being seen invisible, fear of being seen invisible, fear of making a mistake, and fear of shining. And then I'm going to help you get your next yes for the next behavior, so you can take inspired actions. It's going to be quite a thrilling 3-week course. Made it totally, utterly financially available to as many people as possible, reduce the price. It's www.carollook.com/clarity/order. And Rick, maybe you could write that in the chat. But that's what we're doing starting next week. And I know a bunch of
It's
people
in the
are
chat. It was in the invite and reminder messages in the PS,
good.
and it'll be in the replay as well. I'd love to have you. Such an experience last time, and you don't have to have been there in January.
Got a lot of
The
newbies.
focus is going to be very powerful. I love this, bringing clarity into action. Would you like to do another one of the chat questions?
Yes, and just so you know, Vida, can you put your hand down? Yes,
I
Rick?
can do that. I'll do that for.
Good, good. And then I'll take
That's
the
a
next.
little easier.
Good, good. Thank
Yeah.
you, Kate, who just wrote in that January was amazing. We had a lot of fun, and boy, did we do a lot of tapping. Woohoo! I don't waste any time, everybody. Okay, what's the chat question?
Repeating pattern. Being put upon and not saying no. Others requesting things which usually have to be done now. So I react and do them. No time to think, instead of actually doing what I need to do.
Okay. So the only reason you would do that, whoever's writing, is that you're afraid to say no. You're afraid of their reaction if you say no. Now, maybe you're not very practiced at saying no. Maybe you're too accustomed to saying yes to everybody's favors, but there's a reason. So the first tappable issue is I'm afraid to say no. And because is really important. Why? Because they'll be mad at me. They'll hurt me. They'll yell at me. They'll leave me. Why would you be afraid to say no? So the issue is fear of saying no to them, and then you take care of them instead of you repeatedly. Why are you so afraid of saying no? What are you're afraid of consequences, or you would just say, no, I can't. I'm so sorry. I can't pick up your kids from school. No, I'm so sorry. I can't do this. You would just say no politely and nicely and be kind about it and take care of yourself. But there's a reason. So 2 parts to that, right? I'm afraid to say no, measure the fear 0 to 10, and why. So
And
important.
why. Okay. The next one is, I'm procrastinating and doing some admin work I have to do. I've tapped on the fear of making a mistake, rebellion, and I've come to the understanding that if I finish this, I'll be free to take care of other issues I am dreading to do. So that's some clarity, but then what?
You know, I keep the tapping super simple because you get better results that way. I'm afraid to finish. I'm afraid to face that other stuff. It's keep it that simple. That is the clarity. If you go there, then that'll drop a little bit. So you're doing busy work and wasting time doing admin stuff. So you don't have to do the bigger, maybe not bigger stuff, but the stuff you dread more. Keep it simple. I'm afraid, I'm avoiding finishing this so I don't have to do that, and fill in the blanks. Good question. It is a repeating pattern for people being distracted, busy work, this and that, so we don't have to do the big stuff. And the big stuff could be taking care of ourselves, or the big stuff could be just something difficult. Dread is a really good word to tap on, everybody. I dread showing up. I dread being clear. I dread making a mistake. Veronique's, I dread being seen as incompetent. It's actually a good word. Okay.
Thank you.
So Rick will come back to that. I see Lilia, if I'm pronouncing your name right. Lilia.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Well, thank you for having me. I'm wondering about having a higher paying job, and I'm stuck no matter what. So what is your suggestion? Like, as I'm talking about it, I'm feeling that I'm afraid of working overtime, although I work from home. And I'm afraid that I won't be able to do the job, or so I have some fear around having a higher paying job, although I know I deserve it. It's weird, eh?
The simple fear, Lilia, is I'm afraid of too much work. I'm afraid of being overwhelmed. What's the simple fear? I'm afraid.
When I look at some of those higher paying jobs is to lead. I'm afraid to lead the people, people like some kind of supervisor type of thing. So when I go there, I'm just uncomfortable in doing that part of a job.
Okay, so you identified really good tappable targets, really good ones and simple ones for you. Okay, I don't want to be even though I'm afraid to be a leader, because, and get your because, there's something about responsibility. There's something about they could blame you. There's something about making a mistake, right? And then I hear also that you are afraid of being overwhelmed. Like, just keep it simple. Let's just keep it what it is. The hours that you don't want to complicate things. You don't want to be asked, have more asked of you.
Yes,
Okay?
exactly. Mhm.
Okay. Really
That's
simple.
good.
Get your number if you need to. Tap, tap, tap until it's like, well, they can ask more of me, and I want to show up. And if you want to show up,
Well, it's easy. I work from home, so that's not the problem there. I'm in Ottawa, so most of us work from home.
okay. So
So,
Lilia,
mhm.
there's one more thing that I would tap on for you. I'm afraid I can't do it. I'm afraid I won't be I'm afraid I won't be successful at it.
Wow. I mean, I just felt something. You strike a chord there. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I can hear
Wow.
it. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, I have Silmara, if I'm pronouncing you right. Now I got to get the ask to unmute, see if that worked.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I follow you for many years, but I never had a chance to see you in person.
Hello.
So mega so good to finally talk to you, Carol. I'm a little confused because I'm new actually to really understanding EFT and following a little bit more now that I have time your work online. And I'm transition careers too. Now, why I'm having the time to follow you more, I have more time now to research and transition career-wise because I have more time. It's a great opportunity. But I think what I need your help for clarity. Every time I was trying to enroll in a course, learn something to teach, I have this fear of disappointing my husband because we have kids and responsibility. And then you use a word before of somebody else that was the template. Maybe the fear is not towards my husband. Maybe there's something going on way before that I don't know. Because I have this in my head. I think one of the things that I'm procrastinating or don't have clarity is where to invest, what can I be good at. So I don't even know where to start tapping because I think the disappointment maybe towards me, and I thought it was my husband. I don't want to waste money. We are so focused in raising our kids. But maybe it's deeper than that. Maybe it's before me and my dad or something like that. I don't know.
So first question. So when we're afraid to disappoint someone else, we've done it before and gotten scolded or hurt or, punished or something. There's been a big disappointment before, else you wouldn't have this with him, right? But I want you to say this out loud and see if you get anything. I'm afraid I'm going to make a mistake and make the wrong choice.
Yes, it's true. Because it's wasting money then. Oh, you're not going to use what you're supposed to be teaching or invested your money.
Okay. So somehow that fear of waste, the fear of making a mistake, making a choice, it being a mistake, and then wasting money as a result of that. You couldn't have that unless your husband says it all the time, or you've done it before and you feel, or your father told you, as you said, that your father said, oh, you wasted money. You shouldn't have made that choice. It was a wrong choice.
Mm-hmm. True.
You have a memory of that?
I do. Like I do in terms of security, job security, where I went to college and what did I did my master, theater and advertising, and I don't use both of them.
Okay. All right. So you need to tap. Here's what I would suggest. Tap on the fear of doing it again, making a mistake again. Everybody remember making the mistake and getting the clarity and the yes, that's all the two that we're doing. I would tap on that and I would tap on forgiving yourself. You're mad at yourself for those two mistakes. I personally have stopped thinking things are mistakes because everything led me to where I am today. But you need to forgive yourself.
And what you said now was so interesting about forgiving myself. I enjoy every single thing that came through all the courses I did. The only thing I don't enjoy is the financial security that I wanted to have in my life right now, that I feel I don't have because I didn't take the right course.
Yes. So you need to forgive yourself for that. And you need to get over that.
Okay. All right. So how do I say I again forgive myself for making the mistake?
You start with I'm mad at myself.
I'm mad at myself for wasting. I don't know. Can you frame exactly? I am.
Even though I'm mad at myself for wasting the money back then, and I
Even.
don't have financial security now, I accept that I did the best that I could.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
Thank you. So happy you were here today. All right. I see Evelyn. Hi, Miss Evelyn.
Hey, Carol. So I was married to a narcissist for 22 years and I've been divorced for about a year. And I'm seeing, and I've been working with coaches and doing my own tapping, and it's usually going back to childhood and why I attracted that. So I've cleared a lot of stuff in the last year. I'm seeing that I do have a really big fear of becoming more attractive. And there's about 4 different ways. It's more money, it's healthier, it's losing weight. So really and the last week and a half, I've been really breaking those down to tiny, tiny things and seeing major progress. But my really big question is the program that you're promoting today. If I already know, like, I feel like I have this big block of being more attractive because I'll attract somebody just like him. And I feel like that's trumping all the normal things that I'm not having clarity on and moving forward with. So since I know that I have this big fear of being attractive, being more attractive right now, is your program going to be helpful for me, or do I need to clear that first?
The program's helpful for anybody who's not getting clarity and not getting the behaviors and the results they want. Now,
okay,
let me go back to you because you're missing something.
Okay, sweet.
I'm afraid of being more attractive because I might attract someone like him.
Yes. Okay.
You might attract someone like him. You might attract him again. You might attract all sorts of things. That's not the issue.
Okay.
The issue is if I attract another narcissist, how am I going to say no? It's not about who you're going to attract. We attract people all the time. The issue is, so what? So what if you attract someone like that? So what if someone like that is attracted to you? What are you going to do when they want to date? What are you going to do? So keep going deeper.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes me almost want to cry. That's awesome. Okay. So
Good.
if I attract another narcissist, how am I going to say no?
What are you going to do about it? In other words, it's like when people are afraid of people's jealousy. Human beings are going to be jealous, everybody. We're not stopping that. What are you going to do about it or with it?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Evelyn, I hope to see you on the series. It's a lot of fun. And we do tippity tap, 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 tap for an hour twice a week for 3 weeks. And I do bonuses and I give a whole lot of stuff. So I hope you're there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hope you're there. Thanks for being here. Hi, Deborah. How are you? I did ask to unmute. Did that work, Deb?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. Thank you so much. Okay, so recently I created a fundraiser, which is going to an institution for medical research, which is very, very important and I really believe in. And I think it's groundbreaking and a milestone. And I'm not getting the donations I expected. So again, they're not going to me. It's at a institution and 100% tax-free, all kinds of good incentives. So I started small with like my immediate group, and then I thought I would widen the net, but I'm not getting the response I hoped for and expected. I thought people would be as excited as I am about this research and supporting it. So I'm feeling now a little bit not discouraged, but it's almost like if you give a party and nobody comes. And
what's the question? What's your question?
I'm not sure what my question is. That of course I'm not giving up because I just sort of launched this thing like a week and a half ago. But I guess I'm feeling not as, I guess I have a fear of like widening the net and reaching out to other people who, first I was starting with like, more of my closer circle, but to reach out. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm disappointed in those people, but I don't know what the question is. I guess I just feel a little bit fearful or embarrassed that I'm asking them to support this thing that I think is really fantastic.
Okay.
And
Deb, let
I'm
me see.
not getting the response I thought I would.
And that's disappointing. Like, in other words, let's be real, that's disappointing, right? It's like doing anything. If you don't get the response you hope for and you're excited and passionate about it, it's disappointing. Number one. Number two, everybody is appropriately and fully self-centered. So there are a lot of causes that I will not contribute to, and there are a million that I do, but I can't contribute to everything. So you might be thrilled about this one. I might not care that much because I have 40 others who are asking for money for me on the other side. So you don't take it personally. Your excitement, your passion, you're asking for money. It's not a great place to be in, to ask for a fundraiser. It's not much fun. Okay, there's a limiting belief right there. So deal with your disappointment, true. Deal with your fear. And then you have to just deal with the reality of what kind of money comes in. Like, this isn't personal. This isn't personal. You're doing a great thing. You're fundraising for research. Not everybody's into research. Not everybody's into whatever you're researching. Just don't take it personally. It can still be disappointing, and don't take it personally. But the tappable issues are, I am disappointed and I am fearful of widening the net, because what if they don't respond either? That's what we're talking about. What if they don't respond either? Well, what if they don't? Did you make a commitment to deliver a certain amount of money? No.
Well, I just imagine that, especially the patients who would, that this would support them and their future and future treatments, and even perhaps a cure, that they would be excited to support it. So it
confusing, a little confusing too.
How is it confusing?
The people who have the disease are not supporting it, and it's supposed to support them. I'm just saying it's another tappable issue. It's just another tappable issue. You've got 3 there now. Confusion that, it's like if, I don't know, someone with Parkinson's doesn't give to a Parkinson's foundation to raise money. I don't know, I'm making it up. The point is, you're left with this a little bit icky, uncomfortable feeling, and that's all your responsibility to tap on. You're not going to change them. Your passion, keep your passion, keep you about it, keep that clarity. We just have to deal with what comes in the door.
Right. And again, it's not my research. I mean, this is a brilliant, PhD, MD, who's for 8 years been doing this incredible, brilliant, groundbreaking research. And I want to help drive it forward.
But not everybody does.
No, they don't.
And that we, and that can be a surprise to us. That can be like,
yes,
why don't other people have this passion? Good tappable issues, Deborah. I'm glad you were on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye. Okay, I see Becky. We're getting to a lot, everybody. Hi, Becky.
Hi, Miss Carol.
Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
I'm so glad for this platform that you're providing for us to talk to somebody live and get our issues sorted out. My issue is about hoarding. For the past 17 years, I have my kids' clothes, their little books when they were babies. I try to decide whom to give it to, and then I keep them back. I want clarity about that, about why am I not doing it?
Okay, so the clarity.
I have only a part-time job, so I do have enough time, but then I try to think, I have only 24 hours. I can't do it all.
Nothing to do with time, Becky. It has nothing to do with time. It's all in the emotional attachment and what it would mean to you to let go of it. So ask yourself, the downside of letting go of the kids' clothing or toys from when they were little, the downside is what? I'm afraid to let it go because if I do,
I want to give it to, they're just 11 and 13 now, but I want to give it to the grandchildren because my mom has saved it and she gave it to my children. Not that they played with it, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a deeper fear there. That's a practical fear. I understand it, but there's a deeper fear that says, I can't let go. I want to be like my mother. Oh, this will be useful one day. I grew up in a family where everything would be useful one day.
Yes.
Had to take care of that, right? So there's a deeper fear, Becky. I'm afraid to let it go. Why? Why are you afraid to let it? Because it's so meaningful. Why are you so afraid to let it go? I'm afraid to give it away. It has nothing to do with time is my biggest point for you. It has nothing to do with time. It has all to do with the emotional attachment. What does it mean to you? Who would you be if you started to give away your children's baby clothes? What does that mean? There's a meaning there that you're not getting to.
Yes, but I think I will not have something to hold on to when they leave the nest.
There you go. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. That's the issue. There's the tappable issue. There's the direction to go. That's why you're holding on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for saying this platform. I'm loving the platform. And Rick said, we're going to do more of these. Ask me anything. Who is here? Marjorie.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, nice to see you in your car. Hi.
I'm so happy that I even got to, like, I put my reminder on and jumped. This is my life right now. I'm all over the place, but that's why I'm here.
Good.
So
What's your question?
My question is, I have, like, basically, in my career, I have 3 different facets of my career that have opened up. I'm a massage therapist, I am a biomagnetic adjustment therapist, and they asked me to teach. And also I work with a machine, a medical machine. So but I feel like I don't know if I should let one of those things go, or if I should incorporate them.
Oh, you just went blank. Incorporate them.
I feel like I'm stuck because I don't know which to keep. I don't know what to incorporate them or to let one go.
Okay. Why would you think I should let one go? In other words, why does that come up? Did someone say you can't do
because it seems like it just seems like there's so many that it's like, can I do them all? Even though I don't really want to let any of them go. And I don't know, am I being selfish or am I do more? Can I handle it? All of these things.
So the anxiety and stress about can I handle it is your first step for tapping. Because then you're going to get the answer of like, I need to let one of them go because I really want to do the first 2 really well. Or when you tap, you'll calm down and you'll say, I can do all 3 beautifully and I can't wait. So I know it feels like you're stuck, but it's almost like you're procrastinating on the decision because the procrastination helps you because you're afraid to commit to letting one of them go or commit to not letting them go. So then you're in this yes, no, yes, no, yes, no place. So you haven't gotten settled on the yes.
Yeah.
Make sense?
That sounds perfect.
Good, Marjorie.
Thank you.
Okay, Marjorie.
Thank you.
Nice to see you from your car. Okay, all of your examples. By the way, the program's not for everybody. And we have plenty of people signed up and I'm passionate about it and I love it and the right people are going to show up. But carollook.com/clarity/order. It's an awesome program. You get a ton more than how we've priced it, plus bonuses, plus this, plus that. You know what I give, those of you who know me. It's going to be a lot of fun and you're going to move into clarity, into action. And that changes everything. So hope you guys can join me. Anita, if I'm pronouncing your name, it's spelled a little differently. Anita?
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, hi there, Carol. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here.
Excellent.
I was really debating about putting my hand up and I thought, well, it's probably late. You won't get to me, but you did.
Yay.
Okay.
What's your question?
My question. I'm a bit of a perfectionist.
Okay.
I am very detailed in everything I do. I have to do everything so thoroughly. Not only do I drive probably other people crazy, I really drive myself crazy with that,
Okay.
especially with finances. I am so thorough and so detailed. I know where it comes from. I have a pretty good idea where it comes from. I've been tapping a lot on you are not enough and trying to believe trying to help my knowing that I am enough. I know it on some levels and others I don't. And I do know where it comes from. I know it comes from my past and all the things that
Question. I need to
happened.
make the question. What's the question?
I still can't, even though I'm tapping so much on this to be good enough, feel good enough, I still can't let go of being such a perfectionist and so detailed in
Okay.
everything I do. And it just eats up all my time and I frustrate myself.
Yes, that makes sense to me, Anita, totally. So to answer this question, the downside of letting go of my detail-oriented perfectionism is
I won't know who I am. That is the way I've been my whole life, trying to please others and
okay.
my
Okay, so
parents.
do you hear the tappable issues? You've been tapping not on something that's wrong, but tapping on something that might not be mining enough for you. So not that I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough. You don't believe it, you don't feel it. I won't know who I am. That's a key one for you. In other words, we don't let go of something that if we feel threatened at the thought of letting go. So Becky's not going to let go of the baby clothes because it feels threatening to her. You're not going to let go of your perfectionism and detail orientation stuff because it feels threatening. We must tap on the fear and the threat and the terror. Terror is too big for this, I think, right? We have to tap there or else we won't change the behavior. So stop tapping. I would say stop tapping on I am enough because it's not working. And say, I'm
Right.
scared out of my mind to let go of this behavior because it's who I am. And I think it makes me feel valuable. See, that's what I think is going on. I think you feel valuable because of it.
I wish I could feel valuable in other ways without having to be perfect.
Right, right. So my perfectionism makes me feel valuable. So the or else question comes up for perfectionism. If I'm not perfect, then what? What's the downside of not being perfect? Besides, you won't know who you are.
It just feels blank. I don't know how to be any other way.
Okay, so that's threatening, Anita. Who wants to not know how to be? It's a role, it's a thing for you, it's a shtick, it's a stance, it's a position. That's scary. Honor it. That's what you have to honor.
Okay.
You're right on target, but I understand the good enough, but it's just a little bit too cloudy right now for you. This is the stuff that you need to tap on.
Thank you. Well, obviously it's hitting on some chord because I'm feeling quite emotional. So thank you.
Anita, take care of yourself, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Nice to see you. We have a Jennifer. Jennifer, you have a 7 in front of your name, so I don't know. So I think it's Jennifer. Jennifer, last name starting with an O.
Yes.
Hello.
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 Well, I was working and then I looked at the clock. It said 11:40 and I freaked out and started getting angry and getting mad that I might have missed you. And then I took a deep breath and said, do it anyway, and you're on. And when I went to click my name to say, okay, somehow a 7 showed up. So 7 reminds me of it's a special number, spiritual number, and people say, how does it stand up on its own? And I believe that, there's a trust there or there's strings you can't see,
Good.
So it's perfect because this is what my biggest thing is, I believe, is trust.
Mm.
And, that I can't make a mistake, that I'm always protected, that there's something else there that I can always rely on. It's a really big one. And I can't put it into a question yet. So I'm hoping you can help me get to that.
You mean you do believe there is something else there and you do trust in other strings and other things and things working out and unfolding as they should? You do trust it, or you're saying you don't?
I'm close.
Close.
I've seen experience. I've had my own experiences.
Okay.
For some reason, I haven't made it quite over the hurdle to go, and then leave it alone.
Perfect. So Jennifer, what is the remaining block or the remaining threat? If you let go of all the doubts, this is a doubt issue. If you let go of the doubts and said, I'm all in, what's the risk of that? What's the downside of that?
that I'm not good enough to be all in.
There you go.
About to cry. Yeah, you got it.
Yep, you did too.
Yep.
Very happy you showed up. 7 is my favorite number.
Thank you.
Jennifer, that's it. You got your answer. Wendy, I'm asking to unmute.
Yes, yes.
Hi.
Can I unmute?
What's up? What's your question? Oop, Wendy, you
Wendy, you just muted yourself.
muted yourself again. Let me go.
Unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm the one I put in the chat thing. I have horrible anxieties leaving the house. I don't drive on freeways, but if I'm in a passenger, like we have a beach house, and it's like I am making excuses to stay home. And like the other day, we go in, the minute there's traffic, I panic, and I have to have tools or something with me to just be able to sit in that car.
Okay.
And I think it's the fear of not being able to be under control to get off the freeway. I don't know, but it's
Yes, so as it turns out, all that fear of flying, fear of traveling, fear of being in a car, all of that, there is a lot of control issue underneath it, fear of heights. So that would be your tappable issue, Wendy, over and over and over again until you're 10 plus. You're telling us it's a 10 plus, goes to a 9, goes to an 8.5, goes to an 8. This may not be fast, it may be fast. I'm terrified. Here's your statement. I'm terrified of losing control.
okay.
That's your statement. Otherwise, you'd get in the darn car, go to the beach house.
Okay, so just keep tapping. I'm terrified of losing control.
And change the wording if I'm not right, if you feel like something else is closer, but that's the nugget. That's essentially what it is. Any kind of phobic response like that.
Yeah, okay.
And there must be a template. There must be an old issue, by the way.
Oh yeah, there is. I know what it is.
Okay, Wendy,
Thank
very
you.
happy to see you. We have another Jennifer. Thank you. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
Hi. What's your question?
I can't believe I'm on with you. I emailed you a few days ago. I'm actually filing a restraining order on my husband today, and I've had such an incredibly bizarre relationship with my husband, and I can't stay connected to myself. I can't, it's not making sense. Can't honor
Jennifer,
myself.
I can barely hear you. What you're saying is the restraining order out, being in a relationship, a crazy relationship makes you not connected to yourself. Is that what you said?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
And I see the mouse wire, but not you. What's your
No,
question?
you can't see
Jennifer?
me.
There we go. Hi. What's
My question is why I can't believe in myself and get out of this relationship with my husband, which has been for 8 years, probably awful. I can't seem to get out.
Okay, so the questions to start it are the upside and the downside. What is the downside of getting out? What would you have to be responsible for yourself? What are you afraid of? What is the downside of getting out of this relationship? Or else we would have done whatever the behavior is we say we want to do. And yes, everybody, can we just say relationships are complicated? And this is not a simple answer, but this is how you're going to get started. What's the downside?
The downside is I would have to give up on the dream of having a family with my son and my husband, I guess. That would be wanting my son to have all that.
Yeah.
I would have to admit that I have failed horribly, that I am not able to look after myself.
Okay. What if you didn't fail horribly? You married someone who can't contribute to the marriage. I mean, no one does a restraining order for a frivolous reason, people. So you didn't fail. Okay. The marriage didn't work. But you just said it. You just said it. You said the whole answer. I'm afraid I'm going to have to admit that I failed and I can't give no, you need to be centered in you, know what's right for you. Don't put it through the lens of failure. You haven't failed. You think anybody on this call hasn't had a disastrous relationship in their history somewhere? Okay. You got to believe in you and say, and not set this up as it's either this or that. It's either all or nothing. No, it's not. He's going to be the father of your son for the rest of his life.
Yes.
But if you had to put a restraining order out, we got issues.
Yes.
Jennifer, you are enough.
Okay.
So you chose someone who didn't turn out right. Welcome to human beings, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Deep breath. Deep breath and tap on the anxiety. It's just changing a relationship like that is huge. Just tap on the anxiety. I'm worried about what's going to happen. I'm worried about the failed dream. I'm worried about, that's all. It's just a sequence there.
Okay, I've been using your stress program, so some of that's in there. Worried about the future.
Thank you. Glad you were
Thank you.
here. Everybody, 1 o'clock. One of the things I do in the program, carollook.com/clarity/order. It's in the chat. It's going to be in your email for the replay of this. As I start and end on time because of boundaries. It's really important with clarity to have good boundaries. And that's what Rick and I do. We start early, we end on time. Rick, what am I missing? Anything else about the program? Starts April 12th, Monday, 2 calls a week. It's you get outrageous amounts of tapping and coaching and laser coaching and information. And if that feels right to you now, that would be a yes. And then you click on the link and you'll join us and we'll have a good time. If not, I will see you down the road and I look forward to it. Rick, what am I missing?
Yeah, lots of questions about the replay. This replay will email you out as soon as it's ready. And each of the sessions, some people are 12 hours off from the time that is offered. We invite you to treat the replay as if you're attending live. We've had a lot of response from people that it doesn't fit their schedule for whatever reason. They could be at work, and it really works too. And the format difference, it's on Zoom, an hour, and there's lots of tapping. This isn't Ask Me Anything, but during the sessions, Carol jumps right in, and we all tap together while we're doing that. I'll be there tapping with you as well. Who doesn't want more clarity and action together? So
Thank you for doing this, Rick. Everybody, we had tons of people in the January series who could never show up because of the time difference, and they were shocked at how much they got out of the replays. Well, a replay is the same thing, right? You're in it, you're tapping with everybody, the borrowing benefits is there, and you will get your questions asked, okay? But it is all tapping, no lecture, and we're going to deal with fear of being seen and visible, fear of making a mistake, fear of shining, and how to take an inspired action every single week, okay? And how to get out of that stuckness. I hate being stuck. I've been stuck before, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Love you all. Thank you for showing up. This was
One more
awesome.
thing, if
Yes.
you have follow-up questions about the course, support@carollook.com email would be a great place to ask them. I know we didn't get to absolutely everything. You can also reply to the replay email if you have other questions about the course.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. See you. Bye.